Hi everyone, thank you so much for being here. This is the Dancing Devis podcast. My name is Aya, and today I'm interviewing my dear friend Jenna, who is an energy healer, vortex healer, and Lucia Light practitioner. So thanks for being here, Jenna.
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
Today we're diving into a really beautiful topic that we first discussed making a podcast episode about a long time ago, before I had even started this, and it's about sacred union. And today Jenna's going to share her beautiful story about entering a sacred union with us.
Thank you so much for having me and the beautiful introduction. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, do you just want to get right into it and tell us your story?
Yes, I would love to. Well, so the story originates in Lemuria. Lemuria is a mythic time in Earth's evolution where souls that were more in their light body form came on Earth, and they anchored the consciousness of harmony. And I was in a 3-year school called Remembering Lemuria. It was 3 courses over the span of 3 years, so I had some breaks in between. And yes, and we had many meditations that my mentor formulated to get us to really dive deep into our deep self, our soul, to discover what Lemuria is and was to us. And so I think the most profound meditation that I had and the vision that came through during that meditation was when I saw my soul pod. The vision began with me and 6 other couples, so there was a total of 12 of us, so 6 couples, on the beach, ecstatically dancing in like full chakra alignment, hearts wide open, dancing and interacting with one another in like complete and unconditional love. And we all incarnated with our person. And so every person in the soul pod knew like who incarnated with who, because it just was that way. And there was like a level of trust and integrity and telepathy that we all had amongst one another, that it created a field of like the most trust and the most like transparency. And so we were able to all interact on this level of unconditional, blissful love. And because it was so safe, it was so safe. And when I came out of that meditation, I cried. I was like, I remember that. I remember interacting with our soul pod like that. I remember the level of trust and safety and community. And I had no experience anywhere near that at that time. And so it kind of set me off on this awesome trajectory of like, that's what I want my life to be, and I really have to find my person. And so, so I went through multiple relationships before finding my beloved Hayden. And those relationships were definitely, I would say, karmic. And the first one was like a karmic twin flame. A lot of people talk about twin flames, and there's so many definitions and so many life experiences around that term. But I would truly say that my experience was a karmic twin flame. So it was really like intense, and so much energy was in the field, but it was like, it really created a storm of wounding and triggers to like initiate the deepest karmic cleansing of my life thus so far, probably honestly ever. it was on the level of ancestral karmic clearing, personal karmic clearing, collective karmic clearing. So much karma was just thrown in my face, and conditioning was thrown in my face during that period with this individual. And I went into the underworld and really did so much healing. And it really, I feel like it was like lifetimes of healing all within like 4 or 5 years. So that accelerated me. So I am so grateful. So grateful, because I am someone who is like profoundly more healed than I was before that relationship.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I had wonderful karmic soulmates after that showed me more and helped me uncover and unveil more of my wounding, more of my gifts, more of my strengths. And and it all got to a point where I feel like my last relationship was a graduation. And in my last relationship, I really, really learned the power of nonviolent communication, of compassionate communication, because it was so volatile. That I literally had to learn nonviolent communication, and I had to learn heart coherence, because I myself was getting lost in a paradigm that I knew I didn't ever want to be a part of. And so I literally, I felt like there was a point at the very end where I turned into Mary Magdalene. Whoa. I was just like being like, wow, like, would you like to resolve this? Oh, no? All right. And like continuing to like open my heart and keep heart coherence, like my heart coherence field strong. And once I achieved that, where I wasn't I wasn't wanting to be a part of divisive communication, and I just wanted to be a part of like compassionate, loving conversations, I felt like I just graduated. And yes.
So I'm curious, what is heart coherence? And what role does that play in relationships for you?
Yes, that's such a good question, because that heart coherence, like I learned heart coherence out of necessity. It wasn't something that was like, I'll check it out. I like needed some sort of meditative practice that would pull me out of the pit I was in. And so heart coherence is a meditative practice where you breathe in 4 counts and exhale 4 counts, and you continue this really long, elongated breath, and then you tune into your heart. And then you recall a memory of a time that brings you so much joy, and you allow that joy to flood through your body. And I even like put a smile on my mouth to be like, okay, body, like we're actually gonna feel this right now. And then you just sit in that space and you just breathe that love through, and you just allow that love and those good feelings to regulate your nervous system. And then from there, you can just go deeper into like allowing that like your toroidal field of your heart to like expand out, and that light to like flood through your auric field and expand that out, so it's like a impenetrable field of love around yourself. And
that's a really powerful tool to have, for sure. Whenever you're like in a very volatile relationship or dysregulated space.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So that and the book Nonviolent Communication, excellent, like excellent. And so I got out of that relationship and had a year between them. And within that year, I just practiced heart coherence like every day, became obsessed with it. And And then I really actually fell into a pit of depression because I had to process all of that energy from my past, and then was like, okay, heart coherence is coming back online. And then I got to a point where I felt whole in myself and good. And then my dad and I took a trip to reawaken his magic.
I love that. Aw.
Yeah.
What inspired him to want to reawaken his magic?
He's really real with me of like expressing when like life gets a little dull. And we just, were talking, and he just was expressing that, and I was like already going to go to Taos to sit in a sweat lodge and drink peyote, and my stepmother was like, take your father with you. And then I was like, let's go.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing. Disclaimer, we didn't end up drinking peyote because the whole trip literally the whole trip felt like grandfather's spirit guiding us. Like it's almost like we didn't even have to go there because grandfather was just guiding us. It was beautiful. But so we went there, we went to Taos, my father and I, and we ended up going to the hot springs. That was probably more healing to him than peyote in a big way. And so we were floating in the hot springs, and I was just opening my consciousness, opening myself, getting into heart coherence, merging with the waters. And then I heard from my guardians, you are to energize these 3 archetypes: the wife, the mother, the healer. And I was like, wow, like, so it is. All right. That excites me. I've always wanted to be a mother, a wife. I was 4 years in to my healing practice already, so I was very much so on board with that. And so I began telling every man that I would go on dates with that I am energizing the archetypes of the wife, the mother, and the healer.
That's powerful to say on the first date.
Yes, because I was kind of in a space of like, no more playing around. Like it's either you're on board or you're off board. You're my person or you're not my person, and it's going to be very clear, by me saying what I am, if you are on board with being the archetype that flows with this. If you're a husband, a father, you don't have to be a healer, but brownie points if you are.
Yeah.
But and that was hilarious. That was honestly so funny to witness what men, would say or do.
How did they react to that?
They were scared.
A lot of men, especially here in Austin, are not ready for that level of commitment.
No, it is hilarious. It was hilarious. Like, I remember I was sitting on a couch and with this guy, and I said it, and he was like, "That's a lot to take in."
Oh my god.
And I literally in my mind was like,
yeah.
Like, it is a lot to take in, but like, I don't know. I knew that like he just wasn't my person.
Yeah, you have to be with a man who has space to hold for you being that.
Exactly. Like, whew. Yes. And so, so that was basically when my womb was like radically like protecting itself. Like my womb was like, tell everyone these archetypes. If they aren't on board, they're not worthy of coming into your vortex. And I was like, okay, like this is serious. And it was, because feeling like the merging of when Hayden came into my field, like it was a clearing, cleansing process. And I needed to be completely and totally spacious and open without anyone or any energies swirling in my field in order to receive him. And so after I started telling men these 3 archetypes, I started kind of like picking up on just kind of where the collective man is at. And I was like, wow, this is very shocking. Because I don't know, I feel like, we're going through a really interesting time within relationships and union, and there's a lot of divisiveness happening right now, and I really truly believe that the world will heal when family units start healing. And in order for that to happen, like, you need to find your person. You like be whole within yourself first, and then find your person, and then work with each other. And when you have a baby, like, I truly believe like that is like the Holy Trinity, and the nucleus of our whole world is like the family unit. And so I was at that level of just like radical, like, are we gonna have a family or not? Like, how healed are you? Ooh, you're not that healed. Like, peace be with you. And then, so I'm really connected to what I call the oracle. And I was sitting with the oracle, and the oracle told me to be an event producer, lean into that skill set, and start helping people produce their events. And so I had a friend create a retreat, and he hired me on board to be the event producer for the retreat. And it was so wonderful. It was so wonderful. So I'm on the first day of the retreat, and I see this angel man walk into the doors, and I was like, holy angel. Wow. And I realized I saw him 2 years before at Ecstatic Dance twice, and both times I was like, this person is an actual angel. Like, his energy field is like unlike anyone else's. I can't even, like, and I like shied away from even interacting with him. And so he walked through the door, and I was like, wow. And then I was like, oh, okay, he's with a girlfriend. Like, totally, like, I'm a girl's girl. I'm like, I really truly believe in integrity, like, and respecting other people's relationships. So I was like, okay, he's my friend, like, totally fine. And so we had an awesome retreat where we all drank wachuma, which was just like so beautiful. It was like, oh my goodness. And I really got to know him as a person, as a friend, and it was just wholesome and amazing, like a great retreat. And I was in a state of heart coherence, heart blasting. Everyone I interacted with, I was just really like holding them in a field of divine love, of being the mother, because I was the event producer. So I was in a way like a motherly figure for the entire event. And I was holding the mother archetype down. I was holding the healer archetype down because I was giving healings during the event. And then I was like, who's gonna be my husband? Really putting that green light. Really putting that green light out. And that's what I tell my friends who are also looking for their husbands, like, be a wife, like, be your highest self, like, fill your heart cup up and like shine it out and be your most like authentic, brilliant self. And then have that like green flag that door open of like, I am looking for my husband, like not only boyfriend, but like husband, my person. And so that's what I was doing. And he saw that. He saw that. And when we left the retreat, he gave me one of the most beautiful, wholesome, clear compliments of just seeing me, of saying, the way that you love reminds me of the way that I love. And I haven't been loving that way, and you're inspiring me to do better. And it was in his own words, because I was like spitting when he was telling me that, like, holy moly, this is like an overwhelming compliment right now. Like, you are seeing my core essence. Whoa.
We're seeing each other.
Yeah, exactly. Gave a hug, left, didn't hear from him. My beautiful friend invited me to Tulum with another sister. So it was 3 sisters, and we enjoyed Tulum to the max. And I kept on getting psychic pings that my husband, my person, was here. And like the tarot cards were like, he's here. I did automatic writing. The automatic writing literally said, think about who you know, because he is in your field right now. And I was like, whoa, I don't know. Like, wow, I don't know who I know. That's my person. And then I get back, and then I get a text from Hayden saying, hey, I would love to book a Lucia light session with you. And I was like, okay, does Tuesday work? And he was like, yes, that works. And then that was it. And then I was getting ready for the session like a week later. And then I just like was like moving a crystal around, and then I was like, wait a minute. Hayden's coming here for me, not for the light. And it was just like an inner knowing. And then I pulled some cards, and it was like, you know, confirming that. And then he came in, and so my first question, basically when he like got settled, was like, so how are you and your girlfriend? And he was like, oh, we broke up. And that's when I was like, whoa, like, all right. Like, I'm so excited. So I gave him a light session, and like seeing his energy system, I was like so impressed that he like, because a lot of sometimes when people are doing like energy clearings, they have to clear the room while they're clearing themselves. But he was like a master of his own energy, just clearing himself. And then I asked him to stay to drink tea, and I poured him some cacao and rose, which is definitely a love potion. Beware of the witches.
You knew what you were doing.
I was like, let's have
all
fun.
with good intentions.
Exactly. And so we started drinking the tea, and we reached the level of Lemurian bliss that I had in the vision during that tea set. Like, I was just in my full heart blast expression, and he was just like smiling and just like riding the waves with me. And I've never experienced that level of like heart coherence, like just flowing in and out and in and out, and then bliss just exploding. It's just amazing. And so obviously neither of us wanted to end that, but he came as a paid client.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, great session. And oh yeah, one more little magical like golden nugget. During our conversation, we talked about vortex healing. So I'm a vortex healer. I'm a practitioner now, and during that tea service, we talked about vortex healing, and we both were like, that would be so fun to do. And I even told him it's the lineage of Merlin, which is very magical. And not everyone can hang whenever they're like, oh, Merlin, that's like, you know, too out there. But Hayden was like, oh, Merlin, like, yeah. And I was like, whoa, like he's at my level of mysticism. This is like just even next level. And so when he left, I sent him the link to Vortex Healing, and then we just continued texting, and then the universe at large was saying yes, 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 like yes! Like all the guardians are like yes! Like the birds and the bees and the flowers are all popping, like yeah!
That must have felt so amazing
like,
at that time.
Seriously, so amazing. Like, so we went into a whirlwind of that, of like the universe spinning for us, stopping for us. We were not able to text people back to be a functional human in society because we like got lost in this field of like blissful, unconditional love. Like nothing that I've ever experienced before. And then we had to like literally be like, we have to ground. We have to make money and work. And like, it's like 2.5 weeks later of like that, just like Lemurian blissful love. And so we had to pour some nervous system regulating tea and get us like back on the ground and not in the heavens. And then, and then we regulated into society, and then we began our vortex healing journey together. And so we've taken so many of these incredible keystone classes of divine energy healing, and we are walking this path as healers together.
It's so beautiful. And now you're engaged.
And now I'm engaged.
Oh my gosh. Y'all's story is so beautiful and inspiring to me. I'm wondering, now that you are deeper into the relationship and settled into it, is there any practices that y'all do together to stay in that energy together?
Yes. So thank goodness to Hayden. I love him because he is so disciplined with meditation. So I would say the vortex healing has kept us like really on this track of evolution, of awakening and healing. And so that is a big, that's a big pillar in our life that keeps us in track of staying in our hearts, keeping our energy systems pure, like clearing the conditioning and karma from our beings, from ancestral patterns and collective patterns and personal patterns. And so we really don't have a lot of stuff that we come in and bump against each other. It's being in the vortex healing trainings, it just keeps this energy moving at large. And then in between the classes, we're big fans of Diana Cooper, her meditations. And we are big fans of Michael Sandler and his clearings. And I might be forgetting one other.
Are there meditations and clearings like on YouTube?
Yes.
Or, yeah?
Especially with Diana Cooper. There's meditations with Diana Cooper. And then with Michael Sandler, his clearings is a part of a membership. So we keep up with these like pretty deep meditations and clearings, and it kind of keeps us like tapped into the magic. We don't get too weighed down by our collective reality that most everyone is dreaming. We dream it to stay in society, but we definitely are a very mystical minded couple.
I love that. It's a dream.
Yeah.
So true. So do y'all do meditations together every day?
Not every day. That would be really amazing, but not every day. Yeah, he does meditations every day and vortex healings most of the time. Like I'm saying, whenever he meditates daily, it's mostly himself giving vortex healings on himself. I aspire to be like him, but I'm like, I don't do that. And so it is, I think, a consistent practice within our relationship that keeps our field super light, super connected, aligned, and if anything comes up, we have tools in vortex healing that we can bring whatever comes up into a grid, and it will help like magically transform it. So there's a lot of stuff that we don't even have to hash out. It's just like normal human conditioning stuff that comes up, and we hold it in a very like in a field of divine energy, and then most of it dissipates, and then we can just have a conversation about like, you know, human practical things to keep the peace.
Yeah. Wow. So one question that I have that you mentioned earlier was about karmic twin flames and karmic soulmates. And personally, I've actually been thinking about doing a whole episode on twin flames because I have an interesting relationship with this concept.
Yeah.
I've watched a lot of people in my life go down these paths of illusion with the twin flames, where someone doesn't want to be with them, and then they're like, oh, we're twin flames, they're just the runner, and like they're gonna come back around, and then they'll like sit around like just like hyper fixating on this person that doesn't want them for like a year. And I've personally had someone in my life like tell me that I'm the runner and I'm their twin flame and I'm gonna come back around, and I was like, no, I'm not. And it's just yeah, so I've almost gotten to this point where I don't believe in the concept, or at least I don't know if I believe in the concept of like a twin flame being one soul split in two, or I'm not really sure, but I do believe in sacred union. So I'm curious, what are your thoughts on twin flames?
Oh my gosh. I'm laughing because like I experienced that. Like everyone was my twin flame until I literally think I found my twin flame. Do I think that they are your same soul split in two? No. Do I think that they are a masterful reflection of your soul to catalyze your deepest healing? Yes, I do. I think that they are a part of your soul pod, like masterfully designed for your evolution. And when I tell you I was obsessed, I'm not even kidding about like the word obsessed. My teacher said that being obsessed over something is having infinite energy for that thing. And so I had infinite energy to dive into the twin flame everything. And that's actually what sparked my ability to do card readings, and that's evolved to me now doing psychic readings. Is because I was like, what's going on with this relationship? Yes. Because it drove me crazy, but it also like gave me some of my greatest gifts. And so I was in a group of twin flame like people that followed this woman on YouTube who would give readings, and every one of us would be like, oh my God, we're experiencing the same thing. Oh my God, we're experiencing the same thing. And so that's when I was like, okay, I'm not crazy. Like, I know I'm a little crazy about this, but this is like not lost in illusion. It's something. And then, yeah, and we had the whole thing of like coming together for 9 days and then him leaving across the country, to another country, living in another country and coming and visiting me. And then like, I would like trigger something very deep in him, and then he'd be like, and it would like explode like this whole thing where then I learned so much, he learned so much. And then he would like go back and then back and forth and come visit me. And it literally was a volatile relationship, not like intense like fighting, but like our energy systems and who we were and what we held just naturally and organically triggered the deepest wounds within one another. And it's really a gift. When you're in it, you don't feel like it's a gift at all. It's like, it feels like hell, you know, it really is intense. And yeah, so I'm like, you know, I call it twin flame because that's like what I was steeping myself in, like under the umbrella of twin flames. But that's why I call it like karmic twin flame, because I've seen people who are like Hayden and I, which are like, our energy systems are designed to bring out the highest harmonic octave within our hearts and beings. Like, it's like our energy systems were made to be together in like a compatible like circuitry. Like the circuitry between him and I just goes and it's just this flow, and it's easy and it's fun and it's harmonious, and when it gets hard, it's not that hard. We get over it fast, and then we go on and we move on, and then you know, it's and with the karmic twin flames, it's I understood through that whole experience, like why my abuela, why my father's mother, why she went crazy. Like she was schizophrenic, and like in that twin flame relationship, I got to peer into that collective, like that ancestral pattern and be like, this is why my grandmother went crazy. So when I talk about deepest wounds, I'm talking about like me understanding my abuela and her life journey and what her husband did to her that made her feel like, because like he did that to me, and I had that reaction.
It's so interesting how someone can bring that out in you. I had a situationship with someone that made me feel like I was going crazy. Like, and I'm such a grounded person. I had never felt like that before, but I literally was like, I'm losing it. And he would be like, you're being kind of crazy. And then I'd be like, I know I'm being crazy. You're making me like this. You know, and
then they gaslight you. I can't make you feel like anything.
This is such an interesting topic because I do agree. I have experienced karmic relationships where whenever the relationship is coming to a close, it's just this inner knowing of like, this contract has been completed. We have fulfilled our contract, and now it's time to move on from this place. And it's really, really beautiful and special whenever both sides of the relationship agree on that.
Yes.
And then it's really hard to accept whenever one side of the relationship agrees on that and not the other.
Right, exactly. And honestly, with these deep karmic relationships, it may take lifetimes to resolve that. And so my greatest advice is just to like surrender it and like do the clearing work it takes to unhook that person and clear that person out of your energy system so that you stay pure in your own unique soul frequency and essence and soul light, and then you're open to receive your person. You know, because it's so worth just like naming it and like, okay, this is really karmic, this is like pretty intense karmic, and then knowing like I can have someone that's easier. But it's really truly the work within yourself to come into a place of feeling more whole, to be able to have that easier relationship.
So if someone was watching this and they were having an awareness that they are in a karmic relationship, or like their relationship that they're currently in is not feeling as aligned as what you're describing of your beautiful relationship with Hayden, what would you say to them?
Yeah, that's another great question. And I gave a psychic reading to someone, and she was in a relationship like that. It was basically what I saw was that her ancestors and his ancestors, there was a lifetime where they came into like great conflict, and it was just really intense. And they were together to heal an ancestral pattern between their lineages. And that they weren't meant to be together forever. They weren't each other's person. And that there was just very clear messages of like, for her, it was just to love unconditionally and to help guide him, because he was so lost. It's easy. So lost, where he just didn't know where to go. He like was relying on her legs and her eyes for her to walk him, and for her to see where he needs to go, for him to come into greater wholeness. And so the advice I gave her was like, love and don't expect really like anything to come like from this besides like deep ancestral healing. Like this may not be your person, but y'all are kind of bounded to each other for now. And whenever it's ready to let go of him, let go of him, because you're worthy of being with someone who has more to give you. And it's kind of interesting, because you would think people would be like, let go of that person, like he's not worthy of you. But there are some relationships that need to happen to heal timelines, lineages, your inner self. Like it's no relationship is like wasted. There's a gift within every single one of them, and I truly feel that. I've had many relationships, and every single one of my siblings, I have 3 siblings, they all basically married their first partner.
Wow.
Like maybe they had like a partner in 7th grade or whatever, but they all like found their partners and married, and
whoa, and
they're really like each other's person. It's like they're beautiful. Each one of them are so beautiful. And then I'm the youngest, and I'm like dating this person, that person, like going through it, like wow, getting beat up, like clear, not really beat up, but emotionally, yes, I did go through that, but like really going through it, and then finding my person. And really, I'm like, man, I got to like share so much love with so many people, and that is a true gift. And I got to be loved by so many people, and that's a true gift.
And you still are pretty young to find your person. How old are you?
I'm about to be 30.
30.
Yeah. Yeah.
Aww. It's perfect timing. I know. I love y'all's stories so much. It's so beautiful.
Thank you.
It's like having me reflect so much. Wow. That is like a fairy tale.
I mean, it's like, it's magical, definitely magical by nature.
But it's also because y'all do the work.
Yeah.
Y'all worked for it.
Yes, yeah, and and it's so beautiful, because like there's things that he got to do, like hike the PCT before we met, and like I don't think I would ever be like, yeah, I'm down to hike the PCT. So just that divine timing it was truly perfect.
It's also like I've been learning a lot about mysticism and psychic powers and energy from you, and I'm realizing that it can be a really beautiful tool for these relationships to like look into the energies that each person's carrying, and the energy coming together.
Yes, and it's truly so special. Like Hayden and I give each other energy healings. So like, we'll go through, like for example, we did a month-long road trip through California, came back, and Mercury in retrograde hit, and then all these planets went conjunct and squared, and it was just like we were feeling it. And I was like, would you like an energy healing? And he was like, yes. And we set out the crystal bowls, set out the Lucia light. He laid there, and I did vortex healing with sound healing, and he just regulated under that. And then after that, then I had my moment like of right before bleeding, where I was just so emotional, and I was like, I just need you to do what I did for you. And so we laid out the Lucia light and sound balls. I laid there, and he gave me a healing. Aww. And it was like truly, it just shifted so much. Like, instead of like spiraling down, we can catch one another and help one another in a deeply impactful way.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Is there anything else that you want to share before we wrap up this episode?
Let me look at the notes.
We could do a whole episode about Lemuria.
I know. And I would say that's the other thing is like, he shares the level of, it's almost like we share the same mythos, right? Like, I got really deep into anchoring the consciousness of Lemuria onto the planet. And then no one that I've met, like no man that I've met could really be like, I'm down to live that mythos with you and to like anchor this level of consciousness. And then we share the same dream together. And I would say like, that's kind of when you know that's your person, is like when you can share a dream together and that your morals and values line up together, and you can truly like help one another in this wild reality on Earth, and help just like juice each other up while we evolve together. So, I would say hold out until you got that.
It's so true. I feel like that is like so important, to have a shared vision.
Yes.
To co-create.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
Aw, and y'all are doing such a good job of it.
Thank you. I think so too. Yeah, I really do. And so we've been together, and he asked me to marry him at this wonderful, beautiful waterfall and in deep nature and wild waters, and we'll be getting married and forming a family and continuing this legacy of light. And I really do feel like it's such a important role in our Earth, and I just feel so passionate about family dynamics and like relationships. And so if anyone wants to work with me with psychic readings or energy healings, I love the relationship realm. I feel like I've been through so many that I've mapped out like what like this is and what that is and what the patterns are. And so I'm really here to like support people and empower people to like know themselves and honor themselves and know that they're worthy, and just help with the energy aspect of getting your energy system ready to open and receive your person.
Aw. I do believe that's one of the first things that you ever said to me. Like, I love relationships so much. And y'all had just met, I believe you.
Yeah.
So if people want to reach out to you about this, where can they find you?
Yeah, so my Instagram is Living Lemurian. And then I have my website, Soul Light Ascension, but the website is Soul Light ASC for Ascension.com. So reach out to me there, and you'll see all my offerings.
Beautiful. And she is based near Austin,
yes,
but you can do things over Zoom
Yes.
or yeah.
Yes, in person or long distance.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Aw, thank you so much. If you listen the entire time, thank you so much for staying with us. And feel free to leave us comments about your thoughts. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Aya.
Have a beautiful day. Mwah.
Great Mother, be here with us in this moment. Hold us in your stabilizing energy. Connect our wombs to your womb, grounding us into a fertile, stable presence. Holy Father, be with us in this moment, holding us in a sphere of golden liquid light. Bathe ourselves in your glorious love so we may open the wisdom within. Thank you to the elements, earth, water, fire, wind, and spirit. May you hold us, stabilize us, expand us, cleanse us, and give us life. May our guardians be with us, holding us, supporting us, and encouraging us to share our truth. And so it is.
Aho.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's beautiful.